really overweight. So a little bit about my history there. I used to weigh in at about 18.5 stone, which is about 122 kilos. And not an ounce of it was muscle at the time. And I decided one day I'd have to go to a medical, so I went to the doctor's, walked inside his office, pulled up a couple of chairs, sat down. He said to me, "Tim, I'm failing your medical." And I said, "What's the problem?" And he said, "Well, basically," he said, "you're far too fat. I think you need to go on a diet and lose some weight." I said, "Well, no, hold on, steady on." I said, "It's not all my fault. Surely it's partly genetic. It runs in the family." He said, "Tim, there's not enough running going on in your family. What about breakfast?" Yeah, most people would say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Okay, hands down, clear your heads just for a second now. In terms of what you do personally, hands up those people for whom their biggest meal is in the evening, including calories you might drink. Isn't that interesting? Now I know the value of an important breakfast. I don't know if you, I think you have these in Australia as well as Weet-Bix. Is that correct? Do you have Weet-Bix in Australia? Now the Antipodean Weet-Bix single is quite different from the UK Weet-Bix by about 1/3 in size. It's a bigger, chunkier thing because we're bigger, chunkier people. And so we were brought up, Kiwi kids are Weet-Bix kids. This is the breakfast of champions. Here's a little known secret for you. I hold the unofficial world record for eating Weet-Bix. To raise money at a charity event one day, I sat down and consumed 42 New Zealand Weet-Bix in 40 minutes with 2.5 litres of milk. So if you want to talk to someone that's got experience about eating a big breakfast, you come and see me. I'm the expert here. I'll tell you another little secret as well, not a lot of people know. There's an awful lot of fibre in Weet-Bix. About 3 years ago, I was called into the office of a CEO of a major international company in Canary Wharf. And he called me in, and at the time we were running our hard-edge corporate programs through with his management team, 20 of his senior MDs. And he said, "Tim, I want to do your program." He's one of those sort of guys. "Tim, I want to do your program." I said, "Well, why do you want to, what's changed your mind? Why do you want to do this now?" Because this guy was an athlete. He was a competitive athlete in his late 40s, early 50s, in really, really good shape. Not an ounce of fat on him, really fit, strong, everything. I said, "Well, you know a lot of these guys are losing weight as part of what they're doing and all those sorts of things, and I don't know if there's much more we can do for your fitness." And he said, "What I notice about these guys is how much more energy they have, how much more switched on they are, how much less fatigued they are. They're coming in, stepping off long-haul flights, and they're sparking, they're firing on all 4 cylinders. He said, "I notice how much more agility they have, how creative they are, and how much work and productivity they are, and they're making smarter, better decisions, and I can trust a lot more of them, even more now, to carry on with their projects because I know they're functioning a lot better." And he said, "And I want a piece of that." I said, "Well, is it a problem? You're CEO. How's it a problem for you?" And he said, "Well, I suffer badly from fatigue." I said, "Well, give me an example." He said, "Well, yesterday," he said, "I'll give you an example. Yesterday, in an important meeting, I fell asleep in an important meeting yesterday." I said, "Is that a big deal?" He said, "Yeah, I don't think you understand." He said, "I was taking it." So we say to clients, yes, it's important that you take a multivitamin. Now, I had a recent conversation with Dr. Patrick Holford. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. He's kind of like a nutrition guru in UK and Europe. And I said to him, it was at a conference in Paris, I said, "Well, so Patrick, tell me what the deal is with multivitamins, because if someone takes a one-a-day multivitamin, is that okay to do?" And he said, "Absolutely, I would recommend it." He said, "I'd not only do that, but sometimes if somebody's a little under par, I'd recommend taking it twice a day, in the morning and the night." And I said, "But it's a one a day, isn't that a bit dangerous?" He said, "No, it's not." He said, "In fact, you could take safely up to 20 times recommended dosage of a one-a-day multivitamin and not come to any harm." Nobody has ever died from an overdose of a multivitamin. And in fact, the one guy that tried it just woke up in hospital the next day feeling really, really well. Best tip for getting motivated, take your shirt off and look in the mirror. Ordinary people are doing this stuff, you can do it too. Thank you very much.